Hi, what's up? I'm Karen, and today we're going to be talking about how to use event handlers on your Wix site with Velo. So to start with, I went ahead and added a few elements to my canvas through the add button. I've added a container box and a couple of vector images. I'm going to go ahead also and add a button through the add button here. Let's just pick any random button will do. We can always change the design in the canvas if we want to. So let's just drag this here. So when I add an element to the canvas, we'll notice that in the properties panel, it's given a default ID. I like to usually rename this just so that I know, but for now I'm just going to leave this, as button. And we can also see that we have additional options within the properties panel here. We're going to focus mostly on the event handlers area. So now we can easily add an event when a visitor, does an action, we can make something else happen with some of the elements on our canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and add an on-click event. We can rename this event or function anything we want. By default, it'll be named what the element is underscore the actual event itself or action. So I'm going to leave that default as well and click add. Once I do that, we can see that I have this skeleton of a function here, this export function. So this is something we often call a static bound event in our code, meaning it can only do one thing, and it's wired directly to the element through the properties panel. So now I can go ahead and add any type of logic. Maybe I want to hide the sun. That's not any logic, but I'm changing something on the canvas. So let's do that. Hide and preview. So we're previewing this, clicking the button, and the sun is hidden. Pretty easy, one line of code, super simple, super fast. Yeah, so that's great. But let's say somehow this here got deleted in the property panel. So I'm going to delete this. And we still have the function written out, right? So you expect this to still work. But if I preview this now and click the button, nothing happens. And the reason why that is because you break the connection when you don't have that actual event checked in the properties panel here. So that's something to pay very close attention to. Another thing is you want to make sure that it's written exactly how you write it here in this little text box. So now I'm adding the event again, thinking that this function's still going to work, but it's not, because now the function's called button underscore click underscore one. So that won't work, I'm telling you right now. But if I change this to button underscore click, let's see if this still works. It doesn't, because that initial connection was broken. So that's something that definitely be conscious of when you are using the properties panel to add events to your site. So one way we could kind of get around this is use a more like a dynamic event handler. And the way we would do that is I'm going to just delete this now and go ahead and type that in the IDE here. But one way we do that is we'll use the $W to select the element. So I'm just going to do button, and I'm just going to now add an on-click event with an arrow function. And now I can add, the logic that I want to here and not have to worry about whether or not, we have that event checked off on this list in the properties panel. So now I can hide the sun. Right. And let's say I wanted to do something else or add an if-then statement. I can also do that pretty simply and easily within this dynamic event handler. So let's say I also want to maybe change the background of the sky. I could do that by calling the sky with the $W again, sky, and I'll just change that style to, let's just do black. So if I preview this now and click the button, the sun is hidden and the sky is now black. So that's a pretty simple and easy way to kind of get past having your event handler, your static event handler wired to the property panel. And then you'll also see, maybe you did add an event through the property panel. In the console here, we'll see, function button underscore click is registered, but not exported through page code, meaning we didn't use it. So why is it, enabled? So also it's really helpful to just, keep an eye out with what the developer console tells you. So yeah, those are just a couple of tips with adding events to your, Wix site. I hope you learned something and have fun coding.